I haven't analyzed anything of what you've done so far. And I'm not going to either. People will see and judge for themselves. What I am going to say is thank you, Elizabeth. I'm grateful for the effort you've put into this. I'm glad you decided to move here. The fact that you are both so competent and so light-spirited makes working with you a joy, even those evenings when it's tiresome and difficult. So thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Där är sant. Jag snackar lite norsk. Tack Christian. Men jag snackar inte nog och snackar om konst. So I will switch to English because that's going to be easier for me. This is not the show that I intended to put up here. In February of this year, I went back to Seattle to sell my apartment, to see my son through his dissertation defense, to see some friends, to arrange a darkroom time for putting together the exhibition I intended to do, which would be a continuation of the cyanotypes that I did last year. And I remember, this is all my fault, I remember writing to a friend before I left and saying, well, I'm going to be gone for a month. I'll be back. Between now and April, what could possibly happen? And the universe heard me and it winked and it said, hold my beer. So everything changed, and it changed very fast. And as I was quarantining in Norway, thanks to some friends, I realized that not only did I have no idea what I was going to do for this exhibition, because all of my plans were in ashes, but I also had no idea what was going to happen in the next year or the next 2 years. And all I wanted to do, as I've told other people, all I wanted to do was get home. I felt like I was in a place of limbo. I had neither a home in Seattle, I was not in my home in Svalbard, I was in limbo. And in that state of mind, I flew from Tromsø to Longyearbyen on one of the most perfectly clear days you can possibly imagine. And I watched below me as the sea ice was, or the drift ice was forming north of Norway and going on and on and on till Bjørnøya, and it was the most beautiful thing I had ever seen. It was amazing. And when I got here and I had to start thinking about, well, I have this exhibition in September, what am I going to do? I knew in my heart that that drift ice was the key for me. I had to paint that. And through a series of conversations with several friends, I had to think more and more about what this meant. What did this mean? Well, it turns out this means a great deal to me in a number of different ways. Of course, it's about climate change. Climate change, even though we're dealing with coronavirus, people aren't talking much about climate change. Climate change does not stop. Right now, people I know and love are homeless because forest fires on the West Coast have destroyed their entire towns. Towns the size of Tromsø are burned. They're in ashes. Climate change doesn't stop for coronavirus. Climate change doesn't stop because we have other things on our mind. It is an ongoing process. And then of course there's the coronavirus itself. We have talked as a species, as nations, we have talked about this thing will eventually happen. Someday, some disease is going to come out of someplace and it is going to be devastating. And we all thought, yeah, that's gonna happen. And we made movies about it and we watched them and nothing really changed. And now it has happened and we are living with the consequences of our own inaction and our own lack of paying attention. But there was more to it for me, there was considerably more. And I realized that not only was this about the losses and changes that we have all faced together, but it was also about my own personal losses and my own personal changes that I have gone through. When I look at my life, when I look at who I am now, and I look at the Elizabeth of 9 years ago, I don't even know how the two of us would have a conversation. We are so different. And that was something that I wanted to get into this. There are some pieces in these paintings that are extremely personal. And at the core of all of this, the very center, the deepest heart of this, is a 20-year relationship with my closest friend. She and I write to each other almost every day. We talk to each other every week. We're in constant touch, and we have been for 9 years. And if there's anyone to whom I would dedicate these paintings, it is to her, because she has walked me through every step of the way. And because of her, I did something I've never done before. I have created a narration that goes with this. And hopefully, Alexandra, when you go into the room, Alexandra will start the narration. It is about 20 minutes. You don't have to listen to it. It doesn't matter if you do or not. If you do listen to it, you will know a great deal more about me than you do now. And I am hopeful that, although it is very personal in many ways, that it will also illuminate my approach to these paintings that you are going to see in there as well. Because I think that we live our lives as if everything is going to go on the way it always had. And we are now in a moment of enormous change, where nothing is going to continue in the way it has been. Where the upheaval, it is environmental, we are seeing political events across the globe that no one saw coming. We are seeing our own personal tragedies that come along with this, as people that we know and friends of friends are affected by all of these tragedies. This is a time of enormous change, and our great task is, how do we live with that? How do we deal with the changes that are being imposed upon us? How are we going to manage? So in the overarching thing, sure, these could be just paintings of drift ice, but for me, these are paintings about who we are as people and how we deal with our losses and how we deal with the changes that we are facing, because they are massive. And with that, I can tell you that there's a narration. I would like it if you could go and see them sequentially. The goal is that you would go from the beginning and walk around to the end. I will also tell you, because the title piece, Loss and Change, which is the 10-meter artwork, is incredibly personal to me. If you enjoy this kind of thing, you will find animals, and you will find monsters, and you will find all kinds of things have been painted into that. And in fact, people see things in it that I never saw. Someone saw it the other day and said, "Oh, there's a reindeer." And I thought, there is? I had no idea you painted a reindeer. But apparently I painted a reindeer, sure. So with that, please go and take your time. Enjoy the exhibition. If you have anything you would like to talk to me about afterwards, I am happy to talk to you about it. Thank you so much for coming. Wow, this is amazing. You are fantastic.
Da tenker jeg vi sier at det tilnærmet fri dressur, så i den grad sånt tillatt i disse dager, så nå får dere bare ta hensyn til hverandre. Vær så god.